In the bottom left here, in the red, he is from South Korea, and Alpha X, Zoun. And in the upper right, in the blue, for AGO East XCOM AGO, is ELAZER. Man, I really wish I'd seen the Zoun DRG series, because I feel like that would very much inform what I expect out of this series. Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes I use curry paste. I actually always I don't think I've ever made my own curry paste. You didn't watch the entire season not out yet? I assume you just watched season 1 or episode 1 for sure. Is it any good? I enjoyed I enjoyed season 1. I thought it was a little clunky, but so hopefully they would improve. But yeah, I'm kind of sad we didn't get to see the DRG versus Zoun series, because again, I feel like that kind of is going to inform my understanding of how Zoun is playing recently, because I have not cast him all that much in the last couple of months, so I don't really have a good finger on the pulse really of where ELAZER or Zoun are actually. Wait, hello there, worst 111. I like it. Glad you're here. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. Anyone, by the way, you missed the prediction, Buck Boy. By the way, if anyone wants to go and give an update on what's happening in the Showtime Lambo series, I'm very curious, because, by the way, the storyline on that one is there are 5 points to separate them. One player will get into round of 24 of Katowice, so one's gonna have to go through the opens, and it's 5 points. Last chance qualifier is the last major tournament, but still, open cups can also change things. So we're gonna see Lambo and Showtime be playing in open cups, trying to win them from here on out. So that's the big thing, right? If Showtime can qualify and Lambo doesn't, or vice versa, that player is pretty much guaranteed. It is guaranteed a spot in the round of 24 of Katowice, because the points are more than there are points left in EPT cups to make it happen. Just the default points. But of course, that is not this series. These are just players trying to qualify for other reasons, as Zoun will go for Stargate play in this game number 1, as the Adept finds its way on into the Natural. Doesn't get too much done here. And that's going to be that. So yeah, first forward race popping on out. Gateway will, or excuse me, the wall will complete. Where does Zoun go from here? When his warp gate is done, does he go into +1? Now, normally this was Stargate into warp gate, so it's not as nice to get +1 when it is Stargate and warp gate. Although that is still the build, and you just get your +1 a little bit later. Does he go double Stargate? Does he just kind of go for a ground commitment behind this, which is something that we have started to see players do a little bit more, as the Zerglings will escape their hide singed, their dignity injured, as well as their body, but tell the tale, say, hey, Overmind, there's another Nexus going down. A great big shiny pyramid is going down. Okay, now the Oracle is going to show up here. +1 is on the way, second Stargate. So yeah, Zoun, he's playing he's playing really the modern 2 Stargate style. It used to be you don't get +1, now you do, because actually with +1, you are allowed to actually fight the queens. Without +1, it's just not happening. You got to hope to snipe him in the middle, or maybe go and snipe a base in opposition and hope your cannons do well or something. Or you get enough on the ground that you're fine. With +1, that additional damage per second for a void ray that attacks really, really quickly matters a lot. It means the queens die much, much faster than they previously would. So yeah, +1 is on the way. But it looks like Zoun, at least in part, He's getting ready to move into ground tech behind this. I mean, that is another evolution of this Stargate style that we've started to see happen more and more, and that the default is to have that ground transition. Right? It is to go into charge and Archons probably and get +1 attack. Right? That is kind of that is the default now. You're not just going straight into carriers like we used to happen, but now ELAZER, his queens, they're walking. There are some roaches on the field, but they're not really here yet. Zerglings, well, they're going to show up a little bit first, try to get as much as they can. Let's see. We are at 70-odd% sure of +1 being done here. So maybe with another chrono, it's going to be done. Actually, with how slow these queens are walking, +1's not going to be done for the initial push, but it's going to be done pretty soon thereafter. So we're going to have to see whether Zoun is going to be able to make that happen. Now, we are starting to see cannons go down, shield batteries as well, but it's kind of, it's funny, this funny math you always see happen, where like the Protoss player is like, ah, yes, I can survive with like not a lot of static defense. It's going to be fine. I don't want to spend too much on this. But no. You need more. The Protoss players are starting to realize that, yeah, I need pretty much everything I can spend minerals on into this static defense. But +1 air attack is done just before we have pressure in earnest on top of the Cybercore. So the Cybercore will go down, but the important thing is done here. Yeah, we can't make any Stalkers, but that's fine because 2 Void Rays are popping out at a time here. They do have +1. They are very scary indeed. Shield Battle, or excuse me, Stasis Trap is not going to be allowed to complete, but now Void Rays target firing down all the Ravagers. But there we go. The wall is down. There's not nearly as much static defense in the natural as there is in the third. So what is the ELAZER doing? He says, yeah, the hell with the third. I don't care about that. If I kill your infrastructure, it doesn't really matter. But the queens are starting to go down. The Ravagers are starting to go down here. The Void Rays, not many of them have died. Really, this is the Zergling show at this point. I don't know whether that is scarier or less. It really, actually, this is incredibly scary here for Zoun because, you know, Void Rays kill everything else really well. They don't kill Zerglings, so 12 workers have gone down. The natural is 100% forfeit. Now the Zerglings, looks like at the end of the day, they will be cleaned on up here. And now instead of killing the natural, ELAZER's going to pivot to the third, where there's a lot of static defense. And really allows for the Void Rays to move in to heal off all these queens. I feel like you just kill the natural. You're not going to break the third base here. The Void Rays are just too much power. And yeah, the queens are here, but there's shield batteries that can be used. Void Rays are just not dying. The queens are also dying here, so there's not enough anti-air anymore. We've kind of hit that inflection point. The queens, they just die. And yeah, on the one hand, ELAZER, he's droning up behind this. That's fine. Yeah, he's killed a decent amount of workers here. Zoun is on 47 probes. But you've got to remember, this is a 3-base Protoss who has absolutely insane amounts of Void Rays. How many queens do we have on the map right now? There are 8. That's something. They don't have nearly as much energy as the initial walking queens did, but they will be able to sync up here. We are going to start to see static defense everywhere, which is more money that Zoun has to spend in things that are not the game, or that are not in him, in terms of him building things that allow him to stretch this game on. All right, that allow him to really take advantage of droning up. I mean, that is a lot of money that you got to spend in like 4, 5, 6 spores. Because that's, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 drones in terms of actual cost. This 4th base will be, or excuse me, the 5th base will be denied as well. Now, I do think it's interesting. We are seeing ELAZER go into the Spire Tech here in this game. And I mean, if this goes unscouted, if ELAZER is going to be able to bank up enough gas to get up to like 20 mutas, and it's just a bunch of Void Rays on the map, I mean, maybe that's something. Because Void Rays, even with +1, are not the best unit against mutas. They can hold their own, especially with shield batteries, but they're not the best. So maybe if that's, you know, something that can happen, maybe that's going to be Zoun or ELAZER's win condition. But Zoun, he's already got carriers on the win, folks. Let me tell you, mutas are not good against carriers. Not really. Okay, but now there are 4 spores in the main base. That's not 5 spores, 6 spores soon to be in the main base here. This is not something the Void Rays can really fight, but they will find the Spire, and they are going to turn the thick beams on. Are they going to be able to burst it down? They do immediately, but not before 20 Corruptors get out. 4 score and 20 Corruptors are going to be the course of this game. There will be a recall, and that's nice. But suddenly, this is not looking quite as good for Zoun as I thought it was. 20 Corruptors versus 7 Void Rays, 2 carriers. Yeah, the Corruptors are pretty good there, especially because I think we're going to see a laser walk as queens for a second time. With just enough stuff on the ground to make it worthwhile. This is... Yeah, exactly. Thanks for letting the net live at ELAZER. I don't know how much this is going to matter, though, because I think ELAZER, he's kind of hit the hammer blow here in this game. First of all, he's going to find the Stargates. He says, okay, well, what happens if you're not allowed to have a Stargate here, friend? Although, actually, he says, okay, that's a free carrier. That's fine. I can wait for those cooldowns. That's okay, whatever. I killed the carrier. That's the problem. But now... Where are we? So we got the queens walking here. That is a lot of queens. We're going to see a natural go down. 18 queens on the map, by the way. Void Rays are going to find these corruptors before too much happens. But, I mean, there is only 2 carriers on the map right now. Yeah, carriers are good against queens. The queens don't kill carriers all that quickly, but 2 carriers versus 18 queens. That's pretty simple arithmetic, folks. But maybe the static defense is going to be enough. Maybe couple here with the Void Rays, it's going to be enough. I remain unconvinced, but I've been proven wrong before. In fact, I try to make a habit of making that happen on a daily basis. It looks like ELAZER now coming to crush on in, finish the job that he started 5 minutes ago, killing off the natural here, killing off all the production. There is nothing that really fights these queens. There's no splash damage. The units in the sky cannot do it. The corruptors knocking down the natural here. ELAZER just realized, yes, you know what? I probably should have killed that Nexus a bit ago. That would have ended the game, but I'll just do it anyways here. 5 minutes later, the queens keep rushing on in. Roaches are going to be able to knock down this +2 air attack. That's not going to happen. Actually, nice stasis is going to cause some issues, but it's not going to get on the queens. That's really the important thing here. The army supply of Zoun is just ever so slowly falling down. +2 air weapons will be denied. And there we go. 11 more corruptors on the way. ELAZER has rebuilt his Spire now, so he's able to make that happen. There are no interceptors with this carrier, so it's not really even useful supply. Honestly, ELAZER doesn't even have to target fire down, but he will anyways because, hey, you know what? Free money. That's a supply. That being said, the queens are starting to run out of energy a little bit, and the corruptor count has mostly fallen down, but again, it's a matter of supply here. It is 190 supply to just about 110. At this point, the Void Rays, they can work miracles, but it requires more miracles than there are Void Rays available at this point. The natural is dead. Yeah, the 4th base is not going to get broken, probably, but the main base is. Well, that being said, the queens walk up like that. They are ungainly units, and it is somewhat difficult, but with the transfuses, it should be good enough here. All right, so there we go. The army of Zoun now finally falling to the deck. There's nothing that the Void Rays can do anymore. GG ELAZER, he takes game 1. I love that in a game like this. ELAZER doesn't even try to take his natural. He's like, okay, I know how this works. And honestly, it's curious minds. I want to take the 3rd base anyways. I want to get my creep spread out faster to give myself the option to walk those queens. Hope you're having a good day, Pashka. Glad you're here. That was not me. I have never seen anyone use my username for anything. So that's kind of spooky. Am I big enough that someone decided they like my name and they use it? Because like my username is based off my actual name. So like, you know. It's a little bit weird, but anyways. Let's see we got a Twilight coming down. Zoun going for the more ground pounding, ground-based composition in this game, and I like this for a couple reasons. Well, I don't know. I don't know how much I like it, but I like it on this map, I guess. Because Curious Minds is a short map. It's a map that the queens, they love to waddle across, and having a bunch of ground units does tend to improve your chances of holding that versus like trying to hold with Stargate. So we're gonna have to see whether that's gonna work better for him, and most importantly, we're gonna have to see what the build is. Is this Dark Shrine? Okay, never mind. Rebel's going down. This is just gonna be for Glaives. Pretty sure. There we go. Glaives are going to come down here. So actually, there's a build that I've seen Zoun experimenting with. I'm gonna have to see how many gateways he throws down after this, but he has been experimenting with 3 gate glaives into like a 4-minute third base, where you present threat as if it is a 4-gate glaive idea. But okay, 3 more. Nah, never mind. Okay. Yeah, Pashka, I play Dota, I play StarCraft, and I play Sea of Thieves on occasion because my girlfriend has been getting into it, and I will very much support her getting any game that she wants to play with me, I will play. She does not play many games. Look at this. This is I mean, this is the 4-minute Roach Warden to hold against the glaive idea, because, I mean, ELAZER says, okay, look, this was Warp Gate first, you don't have a third. That's a pretty simple thing to figure out right now. So the Warp Prism's out on the map here. Glaives are done in, 7 seconds, right at that 4:30 mark, give or take. And we're gonna have to see whether ELAZER can defend. And the interesting thing, by the way, is this is actually going to be a 6-gate all-in, as the Zerglings will find these Adepts popping out immediately, and that's gonna have to be a canceled warp in. That's gonna be a great move from ELAZER early on. This buys him so much time, but also you gotta be careful. Has a nice positioning there. You gotta be careful here that you don't undercommit to the hold now that, it's like, oh, well, I delayed this, it's fine. 2 more gateways are coming down. Zoun is committing to this pretty heavily, turning it from a pressure build that kind of wants to get some damage done to this has to get damage done or Zoun loses the game. But Adepts are starting to warp on in here. All 6 of them at a time. Well, I guess it was 5 and then 1, but close enough. And now the Adepts, they shade on in, all into the main base though, so it's actually fairly easy for ELAZER to split against this just now. But I mean, these Zerglings are not enough to deal with the Adepts. They're enough to like fight them and to force the Adepts to kind of hold position here. But now the Roach are going to try to find things, and there are not really enough Zerg units to take this fight right now, as Adepts are going to shade on in to this third base and into the natural. I mean, there's just so many Adepts on the map right now. Just 6 workers have started to go down. The natural is being ravaged. The third base as well. How many workers will ELAZER lose? I mean, the calculus is a little bit different. He can afford to lose a little bit more right now because this is all in from Zoun. And now Zoun lost every single Adept, but ELAZER, he's on 27 workers. We're starting to get to the point where it is where ELAZER can't lose that much more. And more Adepts, they come on in. So now we're going to see the really annoying thing where you have 2 Adepts into, say, the natural and 4 Adepts into the third base, and it just is difficult to deal with indeed. And I love the Observer play as well, knocking down so much creep here. So Adepts, 15, 16 workers are going to be the number. ELAZER feels like he's falling apart just a little bit. I feel like we kind of hit that critical mass where suddenly Zoun has found the damage he's looking for. 18 workers have died. Spores are having to get dropped here or just canceled for things, just for more money. But ELAZER is droning up behind this. His army supply is still pretty damn good. And what's the tech behind this for Zoun? He's going to eventually go into disruptors, as one does when you are a player named Zoun. I do not play LoL. I do not play League. That is not a thing that I do. I played the superior MOBA. I mean, for sure, if that happens, that's going to happen like, I don't know, the Monday after Christmas. For like NA time or something. Okay, Forge coming down third base as well. Has Zoun done enough? Let's see. He has 1 disruptor on the way, none on the field right now. But I don't think we're going to see ELAZER get too aggressive here. In fact, we have, once again, Zoun being really aggressive with these Adepts. And the big benefit of, by the way, by killing 20 workers, which is really nice, but even more than that, he has done such a good job of really curtailing the creep spread of the Zerg player right now. The vision that ELAZER has on the map is so far inferior compared to what he normally would have here. These Adepts are just finding so much value. 8, 9, 10 workers are going to go down here. Maybe even 11. No, 10 workers will be the price they paid. But the Warp Prism's down, so now there's a lot less pressure on the map. The Disruptors, they have a lot less mobility. But another Warp Prism's going to pop out here. Do we have Warp Prism speed? We don't. So this is just standard Warp Prism play with Disruptors behind that. +1 blink as well. Zoun is in a great spot. Modition indeed. So ELAZER kind of realizing that the situation that he's in, he's like, okay, first of all, I cannot walk queens. Second of all, you're ground pounding. I don't want to walk queens anyways. He's going into that style that has been so dominant, or that used to be so dominant, so standard in the matchup, where it's Roach Ravagerling Bane. You get lots of Banelings, you crush them on in from every side. Disruptive shots don't matter as much because you just kind of surround and you blow everything up. But Zoun, for his part, he has 2 disruptors on the field. He's moving into 2 Colossus behind. Actually, he might go for a couple more. And this is going to be a big double disruptor +1 and Blink Stalker Colossus timing off of 3 bases. This is going to be the timing that Zoun is looking to hit right now. And ideally, ELAZER's going to be maxed out by this point. Ideally, he's going to be able to take a fight on creep when Zoun moves out for that and just kind of roll Banelings in from the side, crush the army, and say it doesn't really matter how much damage I took early because Banelings, you know, uber alles. But for now, it's all in terms of vision creation. We see the rocks and the natural go down. That's a lot of Banelings morphed off to the side here. That's interesting play. There's that disruptor on the right side. It's going to get, what, 5 Ravagers immediately. But now we have Banelings looking to roll on in here. Actually, they're going to get zoned out by the force fields. But there we go. Banelings crashing on in before the Colossus pops out. The army of Zoun is just falling apart here. But we still have Colossus. We still have disruptors. That is still something as Banelings. They're not even trying to kill the army right now. They're trying to kill the static defense. They will be successful in doing so. The last disruptor shot will find value. And at the end of the day, ELAZER's going to be forced back. The army of Zoun has been absolutely reset. The economy, though, still in a good spot. 57 workers here. Zoun only losing 5. So the time for the next wave here of the Zerg Swarm. He's up 23 army supply. And the disruptor is not going to get anything. Banelings come rolling in for a second time here. They're going to get some, but not all. And now there are no disruptors. It's all on the Colossus here. Banelings come crashing on in, trying to get on top of just something. And they will get the economy. 9 workers will go down even more because that's a wall. Those are just dead protesters. Zerglings trying to get on top of what they can. The queens haven't walked. I said the queens wouldn't walk, but they're going to do it anyways. And the third base is going to be the prize here for ELAZER in this game. Number 2, I believe. As he micros back just a little bit, wait for the disruptor shots to go off. The queens just trying to target fire whatever they can get here. The Warp Prism is going to pay that price. And the Warp Prism will go down. No shield battery overcharge is going to keep it alive. But that third base is dead. And the Colossus on the high ground is doing he's finding a lot of value here. But I feel like, honestly, it feels like ELAZER's push here is starting to peter out just a little bit. Yeah, the third base is dead, but the Colossus are still alive. The tech of Zoun is still alive. And ELAZER doesn't have a lot behind that. He's only up 6 army supply now. This is a very short map. And there are not a lot of Banelings on the map. They don't have a lot of Roaches, not a lot of Ravagers. There are no upgrades here. I feel like ELAZER may have overcommitted just a little bit. That being said, this Warp Prism is somehow still alive. And he's just looking for anything he can get, trying to knock down as many Banelings as possible, make this next fight easier. But, you know, we can talk about this. No, Dodie lol, Zoun is not said like sound. Minus the D. It is a reference to a famous general in the Warring Kingdoms era, like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which is both a historical period of time in China, but also a series of popular novels. And Zoun took his name after the Chinese general Zhao Yun, I believe, is how it's pronounced. So it is Zoun. Zhao Yun, something like that. It's hard for Western tongues to pronounce, but it's most certainly not Zoun. The Sunstalkers will blink on forward here. They're going to find a lot of queens, which means that this Warp Prism is really going to be uncontested. But now we got this round coming on in. Are the force fields, are they going to be good enough? Wow, immediately we see Biles go down, canceling them. There has to be a second round here. Disruptor shots are not going to get all that much, and it's only a single disruptor. Banelings trying to come crashing on in, but the sentries, from the moment they stay alive. The Colossus, for the moment they stay alive, but now we have the army trying to chase this one down. The Biles, yeah, they're not gonna get too much here. Really hot micro coming in from Zoun in this game, trying to keep all of his tech alive here, trying to filter off enough. But there we go, the disruptor is dead. The army getting on top of things. One Colossus stays alive. The Colossus is not dead, but it's still 2 Colossus against the world. The third base has been retaken once again, but for how long? I mean, that being said, the army of ELAZER is starting to fall down just a little bit. He's fighting up into the high ground, into a choke against 2 Colossus, down upgrades. That is a scary situation to be in. Even as the disruptor did go down, ELAZER, he's going to have to go back and reset. He's going to have to go back and figure something else out because, once again, Zoun has stayed alive. Once again, Zoun has not died. And in a game like this, that is damn impressive. Looks like ELAZER, he's just committed to the all-in. More and more roaches, more and more ravagers, more and more lings, more and more banelings. No evo chamber, no +1, just more bases. More roaches, more ravagers, more lings. Saying it's like, look, dude, if I can kill your third base on occasion, and if I can deny, and if I can just keep you on 3, eventually I'm gonna have enough money here. So there we go. The Warp Prism is now dead. Queens have been able to find the pickoff. But a 4th base is gonna get started here for Zoun, and that is not gonna say going to be disastrous for ELAZER's hopes, but it's not gonna be good. All right, ELAZER's entire style here is predicated upon trading better, but just maintaining bases up. And if he allows Zoun to get another base, that's going to be a problematic here. Disruptor shots on top of all the queens, but that means the Baileys can attack unfettered. But the Colossus, they're still alive. They're still fighting strong shield battery overcharges, keeping things alive as Banelings look to come crashing on into the 3rd base. Once again, the shield battery overcharge is now down. But somehow, some way, these Colossus, they just are not dead. How many kills are on these Colossus right now? Let's see. One Colossus has 27 kills. The other one has 55, 56, but it's not going to be enough. GG. Zoun is knocked out. ELAZER, he moves on.